All right, so coding, I think you can understand why it takes years and years to learn. The struggle, the blood, sweat, and tears, and this whole part is taken away thanks to AI. But look, if you want to continue coding yourself or want to learn coding, who am I to stop you? All right. Just remember in this course, in this tier, and all upcoming tiers, we are more interested in platforms, architecture, structures, and telling AI what to do. We're more into how should it look like, what is the brand. We're into testing things, and then because we have time and because we don't have to do the actual coding, we do have time. We can spend time on things like the graphical side of it, the images, the icons, and let that do the speaking, especially if you already now have the brand paper of a customer. We can, they say an image is equivalent to 1,000 words. Um, and it is so, but is the 1,000 words necessary? Is it just a lot of crap to fill up a page? You don't know what else to say, so you just throw in an image. And images really is very irritating, especially on a mobile. All right, except if the image is really conveying something, like the image of a product or a before after image, or explaining what this whole page is about in a hero section. So many people will not probably agree with me, especially many of the graphical artists, uh, in that I say use images sparingly, else it starts looking like a billboard and you can't see what images are important because they are among 100 other images and you have to decide what is important. So I use images as follows. I use an image in the hero section that describes that page in a nutshell. It can be maybe a contact us page. There, I don't even think an image is necessary, but if you want to, you can have a picture of your team, the team that the person will speak to when they contacting you. You see the people's faces, and it creates a little bit of a personal touch. On your homepage, it will be the brand voice, what you stand for, always. And then, of course, that's the one type of images, is hero images. The second one is your product images, because of course the products you do needs to be showcased, but also it should not just be showcased. In the old days, people worry more about taking away the background than to place the image in a proper setting. For instance, let's say it's a 4x4 a car, a Land Rover or something like that, showing it there on the sales floor, is okay. But you want to show it in the field, you want to show it where it jumps over over something, or driving through a river, or you want to show it in action. If it's a cold drink like Coca-Cola, you want to show it in an ice bucket with drops of water condensing on it, showing this nice ice cold Coca-Cola. And if you're sitting there at home in the middle of summer it's extremely hot, and you see that Coke, and you start tasting it, and that ice coldness of it cooling you off immediately. You see where I'm going with images. It should tell stories. Granted, I had an electronics company called BotShop. Now that's of course important or impossible to take these images, because it's like thousands upon thousands of electronic components, and put it in all kinds of settings. Plus, what setting are you going to put a resistor in? The guy buying it is a technical guy. He wants resistors. He knows what he wants. The image in many cases is obviously not even important, because he knows what he wants. But for everything else, there needs to be a setting. It needs to make the person envision it, envision that ice cold drink, envision this car driving through a river, and that feeling of adventure of the water, splashing all over the place and so forth. So you want to build a vision, how do you use it? Then the other thing is before and after photos. That is especially important in the services industry. This is how the garden looked like before we had our hands on it, and this is how it looks like now. This is how the room looks like before we used our paint to make it look beautiful, right? Things like that. But sparingly. You use graphics, images specifically, sparingly. But the thing that is much better to use is icons. And we will look at icons soon. But here you can see all your visuals. There's things like when it comes to, we're going to first off start with icons. All right, here you can immediately see stop. All right, you don't have to take an image and read basically the image to figure out this guy means stop. Take note, read this, right? Then the second part we're going to do is we're going to look at graphics and how to use graphics properly. Now, the thing that does take a lot of icon or tokens is graphics. So the more graphics you generate, the more it's going to cost you. And the idea is to create graphics right the first time, or maybe go onto it for a second time. But I've seen people generating 20-30 graphics and costing you probably 50-60 rand, where you could have done the same thing for 2-3 rand by using the right prompts. What's part of the prompt? You guessed it, branding, right? So when you're going to create graphics, you're going to ask AI to give you the prompt for the graphics and to keep the brand and all kinds of things in mind. Part of the prompt can be reference images. It can be just a bottle of Coke or a can of Coke. If you were Coca-Cola, and you give that as the reference, and you say put ice around it, and things like that. So let's get going. A sign, and in this case we talk about icons specifically, right? An icon like this gives you an immediate understanding of what you want. They did studies to say that an icon is 60,000 times faster to recognize than anything else, especially text. If you have to read through this text just to figure out that they could just have used something like stop and then one word of text or one line of text, you sort of feel, you know, why didn't you just show it to me in an icon in the first place? So here's the thing, speed and weight. The first thing of icons, and there you can see them. Just look at some of them and see if it makes any sense to you. What is a gear normally? It's settings, right? You want to go to a page settings, you're looking for the gear icon. You want to go back to the home page, you're looking for the little house. You want, for example, to go to your user profile, you look for something like this. How about directions? There's the map. How about searching something? There's the magnifying glass. So many of these icons will immediately tell you something. You know, you're on a course page and you want to know at what time this course starts, how long it will be. You'll probably find the little watch icon and immediately know that is where you'll find that information, right? Then the size of an icon is 0.5 kilobytes. It's extremely small compared to a photo, and if it's a small photo, is 200 kilobytes. I've seen photographs that is 2 megabyte. So you can have very much 30, 40, 50 icons and it still will be smaller than one image. It will even say more than the images. And what does it mean if something is, because this is the size, right, of the image, the smaller the image, the faster your web page load, right? So that is the thing. These fonts are typical Lucid icons, and we're going to look in the next lesson in detail on how to use icons. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.